welcome back. Today is finally the day I get my trailer back from getting the Truma Combi fixed. Now, it's been a little over 2 months, and there's quite a story behind the process it took to get it replaced and what the problem actually was at the end. So stay tuned, and as we pick it up, I'll bring you along for the ride. It's about an hour drive, hour and a half to get the trailer, and about an hour and a half back. So come along and we'll get my trailer back and we'll go over the repairs and what it cost. Well, I thought I'd beat the traffic, but apparently I'm going to be sitting around traffic for a little while. Well, it's a new day and I'm back in my trailer and it's back home. Finally, 2.5 months later, it's finally repaired. Everything's back going again. Now, everything wasn't smooth sailing and it took 4 Truma Combis to get it replaced, and there's also a wiring fault. And on top of that, how much did it cost? The first 2 are refurb units, and the second 2 are brand new units. The first 2 that arrived were pretty beat up in shipping. The boxes were pretty much destroyed, and most of the mounting ears, or the tabs that the Truma actually mounts to your trailer, were all broken off, and there's no way to actually mount it to the trailer. So those were sent back. The third one was in good shape. It was a new unit, but when they popped it in, it was still showing the same error message and they couldn't get the thing to work, so they sent a 4th unit. The 4th unit was also a brand new unit. When it arrived, they got it installed, everything was looking good, it wasn't damaged in shipping. They installed it, nothing happened. It worked for about 5 minutes and it threw the exact same error code it threw before. Shucks. So now I've gone through 4 of these units, plus the one that was in here. So that's actually 5 units, and none of them have actually either been arrived not damaged, or they throw the same error code. So they call back Truma and goes, something's got to be up with this. It can't be 5 defective units. What's going on? They talked to the engineers. They spoke with the engineers, and what ended up happening was there's a wiring fault. So when they did all the troubleshooting, they replaced the control pad, they replaced basically it looks like the Ethernet cable that goes from the control pad to the Truma. They replaced all the wiring that goes from my converter to the Truma. They couldn't get it to work. So they isolated it by taking an external battery and hooking it directly to the Truma, bypassing all the wiring in the trailer, and it worked. So they went back to Truma and they all agreed that there is a wiring fault somewhere within my trailer. Now, let's go back a little bit to the summer trip, and everything was working fine before we left to go on the trip. And on our second night, which was in Colorado, our third night in Colorado, we noticed there was a fuse blown, and the lights that are up there on the front of the trailer up here weren't working. We changed the fuse, tested everything, we thought nothing was wrong. That was actually the problem. The roads in Colorado are so awesome, and the trailer was good and shook about quite a bit. It ended up causing a short in that light up there on the right-hand side of the trailer. So they took that light out and just capped off the wires, and the Truma's working fine. I've gone ahead and replaced the light with a new one, and so far so good, no blown fuses, and I still have a working Truma. Yay! I'll put the error message I got right here somewhere. If you happen to get this error message on your Truma, whether it's in an RV, Mission Overland trailer, or what have you, try bypassing all the wiring in your RV or trailer and just go right into the battery and see if that solves your problem. It might, because there's probably nothing wrong with the Truma and it just there's some bad wiring, or it's got a dirty ground, or something's going on with it. So I'm super happy to have my trailer back. I'm ready to go out and do some winter camping, because that's my favorite time to go camping is in the winter. I always feel it's more comfortable to be cold than hot, so I always like going camping in the winter. And most of all, it's not as crowded, because most people don't enjoy the winter camping as much as I do. So, I will make a video on the camping trip. It will not be anything super fancy, because all of western North Carolina is still impacted by Hurricane Helene, and all the national forests are still closed, and most of the Forest Service roads I normally take to get out there are also still closed. I'm optimistic that in April, when everything opens back up after winter, I'll be able to get back out there and get some good trips in out there. So we will go into a campground. It's not too far from the house, and also mostly because I don't fully trust the Combi yet. I want to make sure everything's working, and before I go out and really go out hours away from home. This is the door that was all messed up. They didn't seal around it when they popped it back in, and they just did really kind of half-assed work. I put a bead of silicone all the way around it so it would get a nice seal and would be watertight again, and had it so it opened, you know, the proper way for the Mission Overland, which is down, not up, which I understand is backwards for most other RVs. The lighting's not great, but you can see my new Combi sitting in there. I've pressure tested it. Everything is hooked back up the way it should be. The gas lines are good, no leaks there. I also have a lot of new gear on the trailer too. Let me know if you'd be curious on a gear review. I have a new way to mount the Starlink that works fantastic. Both the Mini and the Gen 2, and it'll probably work for the Gen 3 as well. But I have all kinds of new gear I've been testing out and stuff that actually works and I actually use. None of it was sponsored. It's all purchased by me, so it's my honest opinion. And I can tell you what's worked and what hasn't worked. So if that interests anyone, let me know down below and I'll go into that as well. Now, for the ugly part. Since they had to research some of the wiring, I ended up having to pay 1 hour of labor with the diagnostic fee. So all in, it was about 170 bucks to get it repaired. I still think I made out pretty good because the Truma itself is several grand, plus the installation and all that crap is, and more money. If I had to pay for all their troubleshooting, it would have ended up being a lot more than 170 bucks. So I'm very grateful it was only $170 to get everything fully functioning. In the future, if the Truma acts up again and I can't get it to behave itself, I probably will go with one of the Chinese replacements, just because I can get it, I can source the parts, and I can service it myself. And this comes into the bad part. I'm a little OCD, or maybe very OCD, and I'm very picky in how things are done. The trailer was quite dirty when I got it back. There's stuff all over the inside. It was dirty in here. The door on the outside was actually installed upside down. I had to fix that. When they put it back on, they didn't do any kind of sealant or caulking around the door, so it would have leaked. I'm glad I checked that and changed it back around the way I wanted it. I was able to silicone everything in when I mounted it back up, so I should not have leaks there. They left all kinds of wire scraps in here, so it wasn't super clean on the inside. The outside, I fully understand. It went through a hurricane. I'm cool with that. But the inside and their quality work, I don't think was fully up to par. So while I did get out of this with little to no expense, I'm not super happy with the quality of the repair. But, you know, I'm sure they were getting frustrated because they went through 5 combis to get it fixed. So I'm just grateful to have it back, and I'm looking forward to be able to use it. So if you have any questions on anything, make sure you leave some comments down below. I'll make sure to answer all the questions. I normally do a pretty good job. And lastly, I'm thinking about starting a Mission Overland users forum or a user group. That way we all can share our experiences and any issues we have and troubleshooting, and be able to have more conversation what we can have in the comments down below. So let me know if that's something all you guys are interested in. If so, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make sure to get that set up and we can start sharing our experiences there. I think it'd be really beneficial for all of us, since there's not many Mission Overland trailers out there, whether it's the Summit trailer or any other versions. I think it would be really cool if we could start sharing our experiences together. So let me know and we'll get that going. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate all the views, likes, shares, comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.